gave my daughter this probiotic tablet, which, by the way, it does say for children 4 years and older. Now these tablets, though, the tablets are kind of big and a little bit thick. So in the middle of taking one of these, she started to cough and it went down her throat. She was still, breathing and complaining. So clearly the airway was clear, but she didn't like the feeling of having something hard lodged in her throat. So then I had her drink a little bit of water at a time to try to melt it, and it wasn't really working. And here's where I get to pat myself on the back, because then I realized hot water is going to melt it faster than room temperature water. So I made some hot water, mixed it a little bit with room temperature water so it's not burning, and she took just this much and it melted enough that it went down. So that's the quick tap on the back. And the other thing is I got triggered and I just lost it. So recently I did actually lose control when, I guess I was triggered, but it was something really small. I don't even remember exactly what my daughter did, and something about I got her milk ready for her and then she didn't want it for whatever reason, and I just lost control. I told her, if you don't want it, I'm gonna dump it. And I was saying this in Chinese because, in the moment of being triggered, you just revert back to the original environment where it happened, I guess. So, and she's not understanding what I'm saying. So she says, what? And then I repeat again in Chinese, I'm gonna dump it. And then, I very forcefully pour it down the drain, and then I throw this empty plastic cup in her direction while I'm like, see, this is what I mean. I dumped it. And, even though it wasn't actually going to physically harm her, she knew that I was upset and that it was, kind of like a threatening, aggressive behavior toward her. So she starts to cry, and then I'm still mad, just trying to regain control, and I'm wiping up the milk that, because I poured it out so forcefully, it had bounced out of the sink onto the ground. So I'm wiping up the milk. You're supposed to be grateful every time there is food put in front of you, and anything less than that is apparently a cardinal sin or whatever it is. But it's just, it felt very defeated, because I knew that I was getting triggered all the time in parenting, but for the most part, I really don't have that sensation of really just kind of losing control and letting the anger take over. And it just felt like, how much of a traumatizing experience is it for my daughter, kind of seeing how I channel the anger in a moment like that. So, and I don't know, she's, I feel like she's doing something new that is maybe right after what happened, where, she'll notice that I'm frustrated or something in a way that she didn't used to notice, I don't think. And then she'll ask me, are you angry? Are you less angry? Are you happier? Obviously she's asking me at very quick intervals. It's kind of like, are we there yet? Are we there yet? But then, like, asking, Mommy, are you still angry? Are you still angry? But, I kind of feel like I can't quite place the timeline, but I'm like, did she start to do this? Right after I lost control. But, it kind of, there's no redo, there's just kind of explaining. What I did was I explained to her that I shouldn't have acted that way, and that I was angry, and, this is what I mean when I say when people are angry, people don't do things that are good for them or good for other people. And, to kind of just show her how we're all imperfect. And to add just one more thing about why it bothers me that she's asking me, are you angry? Are you happier now? I just feel like I was kind of trained with yelling and, threats of getting spanked or punished. I was trained to, walk on eggshells, to behave well, to, not wake the dragon. Like it kind of, it's like, this is the whole method of, you're literally showing them, look how ferocious I am, so don't mess with me, right? So the fact that she, or at least I think I noticed her having this new behavior about, or she's very alert at least about how I'm feeling, really just makes me feel like, I've done this to her. So everything is a spectrum. So like her being aware of how other people are feeling, and the fact that she cares about, how other people are feeling and trying to, monitor that, I guess, in and of itself, it's not a bad thing.